In the year 2000, Julianna Margulies decided to walk away from the smash hit show ER, even after being offered $27 million to stay for just 2 more seasons. At the time, she had wanted to go back to New York and star in a Broadway play, feeling tired of playing the same character for 6 seasons. 8 years later, ER was still the highlight of Julianna's career. Nothing she had done had reached the heights of the massively successful medical drama. Her last show, Canterbury's Law, where she played a defense attorney, was cancelled after only 6 episodes. Now, she was filming a new pilot called The Good Wife, where she played the lead role of Alicia Florrick. She had been hesitant to take the job. Not only was it another law-based show, she hadn't even been their first choice.
So Ashley Judd was offered this script, but she's turning it down. Now, I'm going to give it to you, but first they're going to Helen Hunt. And I wanted to hate it because, you didn't want me to begin with. So, and I'm like your sloppy third.
But Julianna had taken the job, and it paid off. The first season of the show was a success, garnering the second highest viewership for new TV dramas. She had hit gold. And after the first season, she collected that gold in the form of a Golden Globe for Best TV Drama Lead Actress.
And the Golden Globe goes to Julianna Margulies, The Good Wife.
Thank you so much.
Life was good for The Good Wife. Julianna was a star of a hit show, and now she also had critical acclaim for her performance. 7 months later, Julianna was in the audience at the Emmys, where she was also nominated and hoping she would win again. But this time, they did not call her name.
And the Emmy goes to Kira Sedgwick, the closer.
However, that night, The Good Wife didn't leave empty-handed. Julianna's co-stars Christine Baranski and Archie Panjabi had both been nominated for Supporting Actress, and Archie had won.
And the Emmy goes to Archie Panjabi.
This was great for the show. Networks and audiences love shows that win awards. But now Archie, who played Kalinda Sharma, the law firm's investigator, also had critical acclaim in addition to quickly becoming a fan favorite character. Maybe what was good for the show, The Good Wife, was not good for the woman who played the good wife. Many theorized that Archie winning the Emmy was the beginning of the Julianna and Archie beef. Welcome to StaleOldBeef, where I, Jaded Win, resurrect long-bearded celebrity beef for your entertainment. In today's episode, we have Julianna Margulies versus Archie Panjabi, both actresses from the show The Good Wife. And The Good Wife definitely was one of my favorite shows while it was airing. I never missed an episode, and I even enjoyed the spin-off, a show called The Good Fight. But really, the real good fight I was always curious about was between these two ladies. And as always, let's keep the comments fun and shady, but not too crazy, baby. Let's continue. The Good Wife was a show about a politician's wife, played by Julianna, named Alicia, dealing with the aftermath of her husband being exposed for corruption and infidelity. I know, a politician being corrupt and cheating. Shocker. Her husband was played by Chris Noth, which you may know from Sex and the City. After her husband goes to jail, Alicia, who went to law school, goes back to being a lawyer after a long absence, raising children and supporting her bum of a husband's career. Archie played the law firm's investigator, Kalinda, and one of the highlights of the show early on was the developing friendship between Julianna and Archie's characters. At the end of season 2 though, Julianna's character finds out something shocking about Archie's character that effectively ends their friendship, and in season 3 they rarely interact at all. But this made sense based on the storyline. However, in season 4, the characters seemingly begin to reforge a new understanding midway through this season, which should mean that the characters would start interacting more again. But the exact opposite happened instead. In fact, episode 14 of season 4 would be the last time that the two actresses would appear on screen together. After that, the characters would only interact on the phone, if at all. Rumors of an onset feud ran rampant, but the showrunners and actors would dismiss them as untrue and blame the separation on character and storylines. In 2015, Archie announced that season 6 would be her final season on the show. Promotion for the season finale hyped that the two women would actually be in a scene together, which excited fans as the two women had not been seen on screen together for 51 episodes at that point. However, when the finale aired, some fans noticed that the much anticipated final scene between the two women seemed a bit off. Some viewers noticed that there was inconsistent lighting, and not only did the actresses never touch, they seemed to have inconsistent lines of sight that didn't match. Some began to theorize that they had used some camera magic to make it seem like the two were together. At first, this was just a conspiracy theory, but a week later, TV Line reported that they had learned that body doubles had indeed been employed, and that the two women had filmed separately, and the scene had been Frankenstein together in post-production. For years, the showrunners and cast had waved away the rumors of discord between Julianna and Archie, but this was impossible to deny. The two actresses hated each other so much that they could not even be in the same room to film one final scene. A few weeks later, Archie was at the premiere of the movie San Andreas, which she appeared in, and was asked how the final Kalinda scene was filmed. Archie answered, "You know, I can't answer that. It's not fair for me to answer those decisions as much as I want to, but those decisions are made by the producers. I'm not privy to those decisions. All I do know is I'm very grateful to the Kings for making the decision to cast me." Referring, of course, to Robert and Michelle King, who were the showrunners of The Good Wife. A few months after the finale, Robert and Michelle King also spoke to TV Line about the outrage over the finale. Although they refused to comment on what they deemed as gossip, when TV Line asked if keeping Julianna and Archie away from each other hurt storytelling, Robert King responded, "We're writers and we love writing these characters, so we were thrilled at any chance to have new dynamics. We have always played off of real life, like when we lose a character or when an actress is pregnant, we write it into the show. We want Alicia to be dealing with the same things we deal with. Ho 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 ho. We just play off of life." End quote. This quote is actually interesting as he doesn't deny the feud and in essence confirms that they just wrote it into the show and made the characters hate each other too, which means that they actually did hate each other in real life. Soon after that, Julianna made an appearance at the New Yorker Festival and was asked about the beef, responding, "Right, I've heard about the feud. Who says that? It's totally gossip. I heard that question had been asked to Robert King. There's no story there, sorry. I actually had heard that rumor, and I feel that it has been talked about and answered. I feel people just like to have gossip or make something into something that isn't there. There's no animosity on my part. It's a shame because I wonder if it was two men, when one finds out that he effed his best friend's wife, if it would get that same attention. You know what I mean?" Julianna was additionally asked about the way the final scene with Archie was filmed, and she responded, "It was shot the way Robert wanted to shoot it, and the storyline too. You also have to remember there's difficulty. Archie was also doing another show called The Fall. I went along with whatever Robert asked me to do, and I did it happily." Very soon after, Archie saw these quotes made by Julianna that was reported by Vulture and fired off this tweet saying, "The Fall was not even in production at that time, and I was in New York ready to film the scene." Ooh. Archie fans were happy to see her stand up for herself, and drama fans, like me, were eager to see if this would open the drama floodgates and if Julianna would respond. However, neither Julianna nor Archie have spilled any additional dirt since this tweet. As far as theories, many fans believe that the rift began when Archie won the Emmy for season 1. However, Julianna won the Emmy the following year, and additionally she won a second Emmy in 2014. So it seems a little bit of a stretch to say that they didn't film together for 52 episodes over just awards. One theory posted by Lainey Gossip did seem to make sense to me as to which actress was responsible for the separate filming schedules. Archie lasted 6 seasons on the show, which is typically the length of how long a TV contract lasts. At that point, you either need to just walk away from the contract or renegotiate a new one. If Archie was the problem in the dynamic, or was misbehaving or just being a diva on set, the showrunners probably would have just fired her sooner, as her character was really just a supporting role. And The Good Wife had a lot of supporting characters that could have filled in for her, really. She was not a pivotal character, right? So if Archie was the one that was demanding not to film with Julianna, they probably would have just fired Archie at the end of season 4 because the show can still continue without her easily. On the other hand, Julianna was the titular character, and in essence, the show could not go on without her. Obviously, a show called The Good Wife cannot go on without The Good Wife, right? So that means that if she were to have a problem with Archie, she could very well demand not to film with Archie, and the showrunners would have to oblige because obviously she has way more power than anybody else on that set because she is the main character. So it makes more sense to me that Julianna is the one who made the demands. It is even possible that maybe she wanted to just fire Archie, but then the showrunners, the Kings, came up with a compromise to have them film separately. And this is why Julianna can still blame the showrunners for wanting to film the scenes that way, right? Because she can say, well, they decided that, not me. In 2019, Alan Cumming, who played Eli Gold on the show, was asked if he thought Julianna and Archie would ever reunite on the Good Wife spin-off show, which is called The Good Fight, and he said, good luck with that. I love Alan Cumming. In 2023, Julianna Margulies went on the Backroom podcast and made some extremely incendiary comments following the Israel and Gaza conflict that got a lot of attention and backlash. And these comments are just way too hot for me to go into detail in this silly video. But soon after that, she did issue an apology, with some users online commenting that they now understood the Archie situation better and that Archie was having the last laugh.
I'm good.
And that's where the beef is resting for now. Until next time.